There was serious concern at the elephant sanctuary in Tennessee. Raja, the 59-year-old elephant matriarch, had refused to eat or drink for several days. Her condition was rapidly worsening, and the sanctuary staff felt time was running out. In this tense atmosphere, the arrival of a familiar person was about to change everything. Raja was not just an ordinary resident. She was a living legend, a respected leader among the sanctuary's elephants. However, age was taking its toll and Raja's health began to fail her. Despite all the efforts of the staff and veterinarians, her condition continued to deteriorate, and the sanctuary staff was in despair. They remembered how Raja had bravely endured so many challenges over the years and couldn't come to terms with the thought of losing her. But deep down, they knew they could only ensure she was as comfortable as possible during these difficult days. Raja would never know the immense impact she had on the lives of everyone around her and on the field of animal conservation. Born in the wild, she became part of a pioneering effort in elephant research and conservation. From the moment she arrived at the sanctuary, Raja's early life had been filled with hardship. Poachers had taken her family, leaving her alone and vulnerable. She was rescued and brought to the sanctuary, where she grew to be an icon of resilience, forming strong bonds with both elephants and humans. Her leadership and gentle presence brought harmony to the sanctuary's herd, and she taught younger elephants important survival and social interaction skills. Among those who formed a unique connection with Raja was Dr. Samuel Harper, a renowned conservationist and animal behavior specialist. Samuel met Raja in the 1980s when he helped establish the elephant program at the sanctuary. A deep bond developed between the young scientist and the wise elephant, rooted in mutual respect and affection. Samuel would visit often, spending countless hours observing and communicating with her, learning from her, and forming memories that would shape his life. As years passed, Raja grew older. In 2022, at the age of 59, her health suddenly declined. She stopped eating, grew weak, and moved very little, which deeply worried the sanctuary staff. They tried everything they could, but it seemed Raja was living her last days. In desperation, they reached out to Samuel, who had long since retired. When Samuel received the news, he was deeply saddened. Although he was no longer a young man, he immediately set out for the sanctuary. His journey was not just a return to the work he had done, but a deeply personal mission to say goodbye to a creature who had changed his life in profound ways. When Samuel arrived, the sanctuary staff welcomed him warmly and led him to Raja's enclosure. He found her lying motionless, her once powerful body now frail and quiet. He gently called her name, but she did not respond. Determined, Samuel began to hum an old tune he would often sing during his visits, hoping the familiar melody might reach her. And then something miraculous happened. Raja's large ears twitched ever so slightly, and her eyes slowly opened. With effort, she turned her head towards Samuel, her gaze filled with recognition. Samuel's heart swelled with hope, and he continued to hum, speaking softly about memories they had shared. The early days of their acquaintance, humorous moments, and fascinating discoveries. His words seemed to penetrate her weakness, pulling Raja back from the edge. A faint movement in her trunk caught Samuel's eye, and as he reached out, she extended it toward him, gently brushing his hand. Samuel continued to sit by her side, stroking her trunk and quietly talking. He noticed Raja was looking intently at a corner of her enclosure, her gaze fixed. Curious, Samuel walked over to the area and sifted through the straw there. To his surprise, he found a hidden stash of food, small piles of apples, leaves, and even special treats that Raja had stored away. This hidden supply moved Samuel deeply. Despite her frail state, she had thought to save food, displaying both a remarkable instinct for survival and her habitual resourcefulness. Samuel shared this finding with the staff, who began incorporating her favorite foods into her care routine. They'd offered her small, familiar treats to build her strength and encourage her to eat slowly. Raja began to eat again. At first, it was only a few bites, but with each passing day, her appetite grew. She started to regain interest in her surroundings, and the other elephants in the sanctuary noticed the change, gathering near her enclosure and showing her affection in their own ways. Samuel visited daily, spending hours with Raja, sharing familiar tunes, and simply being with her. Their connection seemed to deepen even further, each visit a testament to the bond they shared. Raja recognized him each day, reaching out her trunk to him and responding to his voice. One day, as Samuel sat quietly beside her, he felt a profound realization settle over him. He understood why she had held on to life, why she had hidden food. Raja had been waiting for his return, holding on to her last strength for this final reunion. This insight touched Samuel deeply, revealing the depth of Raj's emotions and intelligence. He shared his thoughts with the sanctuary staff, and this understanding filled them all with renewed hope and determination to continue caring for her. As days turned into weeks, Raj's recovery progressed. She became more active, moving around her enclosure and interacting more frequently with the other elephants. Her eyes regained their brightness, showing a renewed interest in life. The sanctuary staff was overjoyed with her improvement, and Samuel continued to visit her daily, their silent communication now infused with an even deeper connection. News of Raj's unexpected recovery quickly spread through the animal conservation community, drawing researchers, conservationists, and visitors from all over who wanted to meet the remarkable elephant. Raja became a symbol of resilience and the powerful connection between humans and animals, inspiring countless people to care about conservation and animal rights. In response to Raja's story, the sanctuary established a new educational program in her honor. Visitors could learn about her life, the challenges elephants face, and the critical role sanctuaries play in animal welfare. Samuel, moved by the impact Raja continued to have, wrote a book about his experiences with her. In it, he chronicled her wisdom, emotional depth, and the unlikely but profound friendship they had shared. The book resonated deeply with readers, becoming a bestseller and motivating many to advocate for animals with greater compassion. Raja lived several more months, filled with love and care. She remained a beloved member of the sanctuary, a wise leader among the elephants, and Samuel's loyal friend. Her days were brightened by the warmth of those around her, and when the time finally came for her to depart, she was surrounded by love. Samuel stayed with her until the end, his hand resting gently on her trunk as she closed her eyes for the last time, her gaze soft with trust and gratitude. After Raj's passing, the sanctuary organized a heartfelt memorial in her honor. People from across the world sent their condolences and shared stories of how Raj's journey had touched their lives. Donations poured into conservation groups in her memory, supporting causes to protect elephants and other endangered animals. Raj's legacy continues to thrive today. Her life and her story inspire conservationists, researchers, and ordinary people alike. She showed the world the beauty of trust between humans and animals, and the profound impact of compassionate care. The sanctuary now has an educational center named after her, where visitors can learn about the lives of elephants, their intelligence, and the importance of their protection in the wild. Samuel Harper, despite his advancing years, remains an active advocate for animal rights. He often speaks to audiences, sharing his experiences with Raja, and encouraging people to treat animals with empathy and understanding. The story of Raja and Samuel has become a powerful symbol, reminding us all that love and friendship can bridge even the vastest divides, and that every living creature deserves dignity and respect.